Boracay has a reputation that precedes itself. Everyone talks about its white sand beaches, crystal clear waters, and party-filled nights. And as a blonde American woman wandering the islands of the Philippines, I had only heard two types of opinions. It as either a slice of heaven or a wildly overrated tourist trap. I arrived with a mix of skepticism and excitement, suitcase in hand, sunglasses on, and camera ready, determined to experience Boracay firsthand and give it the rating it deserved. From the moment I stepped off the ferry, the energy hit me. People everywhere, carts rattling down narrow paths, scooters weaving through crowds, and a faint scent of grilled seafood in the air. My first thought was, this is a beach town, with a hint of chaos. I had to remind myself to breathe, because Boracay is not subtle, and announces itself. I started with the most obvious benchmark, the beaches. White Beach is the crown jewel, a long stretch of fine, powdery sand lined with resorts, bars, and parasailing booths. It's beautiful, no doubt, but it's also crowded. Americans, including myself, tend to picture beaches as vast stretches of personal space where you can throw a towel down and meditate. Boracay laughs at that. People were everywhere, families building sandcastles, kids running with ice cream, couples taking selfies, and vendors with carts shouting, "Massage, miss? Ice cream, miss." I scored the crowd levels a 6 out of 10. Not unbearable, but if you crave solitude, White Beach isn't it. Scenery, on the other hand, deserves a higher score. The sand sparkles like sugar in the morning sun, and the water shifts from pale turquoise near the shore to a deep, mesmerizing blue further out. From Dinywood to Station 3, the beaches offer slightly different vibes, and walking along the shore feels like strolling through a postcard. I gave the scenery a solid 9 out of 10, mainly because, even with crowds, it's hard to deny that Boracay looks like paradise. Cleanliness was something I had been warned about. A few years ago, Boracay faced environmental problems that led to a 6-month closure for rehabilitation. Since reopening, I could see the difference. Trash bins are placed along the beachfront, staff were constantly raking sand, and the water felt cleaner than I expected. Still, plastic bottles bobbed near the shoreline, and stray cigarette butts littered some sections. Cleanliness earns a 7 out of 10, with bonus points for effort but a reminder that no beach is ever perfect. Food in Boracay is an adventure of its own. You can find Filipino classics like adobo, sinigang, and grilled seafood, but also international offerings pizza, burgers, and sushi. I tried everything from halo at a local shack to freshly grilled fish at a beachfront restaurant. Fun fact, halo literally means mix in Tagalog, and it's a dessert so colorful it looks like a rainbow exploded in a bowl. I gave food a 9 out of 10 because, frankly, my American taste buds were thoroughly impressed, though slightly overwhelmed by the sweetness of Filipino desserts. Activities in Boracay are plentiful, and the fun factor here is undeniable. Parasailing, kiteboarding, helmet diving, and paddleboarding abound. I signed up for helmet diving, a first for me, and ended up feeling like Alice falling through a magical water wonderland. Fish swirled around me, colorful and curious, and I couldn't help laughing at my own awkward flailing when trying to adjust the helmet. Nightlife is equally intense. Bars along White Beach blast music from sunset until the wee hours. Fire dancers twirl flaming batons while tourists attempt to synchronize clapping, often failing spectacularly. I scored activities and nightlife an 8 out of 10. There is so much to do that it's hard to be bored, but sometimes the crowds make lines unavoidable. Accessibility is another important factor, and I found Boracay both easy and challenging. Getting there from Manila involves a flight to Cataclyn or Calibo, then a short boat ride. Sounds simple, right? Except there's a local charm to transportation. Tricycles squeeze down narrow paths, while luggage-laden tourists navigate like tiny sardines. I had one moment where a tricycle driver tried to fit my giant suitcase, my backpack, and me in a vehicle clearly meant for 2 people. The result was a wobbling, slightly terrifying ride with locals laughing along the way. Accessibility earns a 7 out of 10, easy enough to get there, but moving around is an adventure. Crowds, as mentioned, are ever present. Peak season, from December to April, brings both foreigners and Filipinos eager for sun and fun. I visited at the tail end of the season, so it wasn't unbearable, but even then, You had to plan meals and beach lounging carefully. Crowds get a 6 out of 10 because, honestly, I prefer a little more elbow room. Now for some humorous commentary. Americans don't usually get chased by carabao in tourist spots, but in Boracay, the experience felt close. Vendors chasing you with umbrellas, pushy massage promoters, and the occasional dog weaving through sandals made the beach feel like an interactive game. Safety? About a 3/10 if we're comparing to US beaches, but excitement definitely a 10/10. You never know what's coming next, and that unpredictability makes the experience memorable. Local facts add depth to the fun. Boracay is part of the municipality of Malay in Aklan Province. The name Boracay comes from the local word borak, which refers to the white, powdery sand that defines the island. Historically, it was a quiet fishing community until the 1970s, when tourism started booming. Today, it's regulated to preserve the environment, and visitors are encouraged to follow rules like no smoking on certain parts of the beach and no building on protected dunes. Learning these little tidbits made my stay feel educational, even as I sipped a mango shake while laughing at the antics around me. First-hand experiences are, of course, the most revealing. I remember trying to rent a stand-up paddleboard, thinking it would be a graceful, relaxing activity. Within 2 minutes, I fell face first into the water, laughed like a maniac, and somehow managed to attract the attention of a passing local boatman who offered me tips while chuckling. Another time, I joined a beach volleyball game with a mix of locals and tourists, which quickly devolved into a competitive shouting match where no one remembered the rules, and everyone pretended to understand English instructions while simultaneously yelling in Tagalog. Moments like these made Boracay feel alive in a way no brochure ever could. Scoring Boracay in total felt tricky because it's a place of extremes. For scenery, 9/10, fun factor, 8/10. Cost, 7/10 because some activities are expensive for a local wage. Accessibility, 7/10 crowds, 6/10 cleanliness, 7/10, and food, 9/10, adding in the unique experiences. The laughter and occasional chaos, Boracay emerges as a mixed bag. It's beautiful, it's fun, and it's full of life, but it's not the quiet paradise many imagine from afar. Yet, despite the occasional chaos, the charm of Boracay lies in its authenticity. It's a place where people work hard, play hard, and share their island with the world. Vendors smile even when you politely refuse their wares, locals teach you a few Tagalog words mid conversation, and tourists from around the globe converge in a colorful, chaotic tapestry of sand and sea. It's easy to criticize the crowds or the slightly over-the-top nightlife, but the energy is infectious. I ended my day with a sunset drink at one of the beachfront bars, watching fire dancers spin in perfect rhythm while the sun dipped into the horizon. The sky turned shades of orange, pink, and purple, and for a moment, I understood why people fall in love with Boracay. It's not perfect, it's not quiet, it's not always orderly, but it's alive, and there's a kind of joy in that. As I packed my things and prepared for the next island adventure, I realized that reading Boracay isn't just about scoring beaches or food. It's about capturing the essence of the place. Its energy, its quirks, its laughter, and even its chaos. In the end, is Boracay overrated or perfect paradise? I'd say it's somewhere in between a chaotic, colorful, beautiful paradise with a hint of madness, and that's exactly what makes it unforgettable. So if you're planning a trip, remember this. Bring sunscreen, a sense of humor, and an open mind. Stand on the shore, take in the turquoise waves, and maybe, just maybe, let yourself fall into the chaos. Because Boracay isn't just a destination, it's an experience. One that leaves you laughing, sunburned, sand-covered, and thoroughly impressed with the messy, magical heart of the Philippines.